fresh wokeism in the mail.
So, people will have heard a million stories about trigger warnings being slapped on classic texts for students, but now even academics are being given their own content warnings. So, at Queen Mary University, a list has been circulated of books that people should, lecturers and academics should read in order to stay fresh on equality and race issues. One of the books is the classic To Kill a Mockingbird. But along with this list, the lecturers have been told that some of these issues are sensitive and, could hurt their well-being, and that if they get upset by reading these texts, they should stop and take a moment and take a breather. And it's, So essentially we're having the kind of infantilisation of lecturers as well as students now. If anyone thought that the kind of problems that we've had with free speech on campus was just a problem for students or, young kind of fresh activist types. No, this is really part of the system.
But who is doing this? Who is saying this?
This is the Human Resources Department in the university.
It's not the exam board.
No, it's not the exam board.
On the text.
This is the Human Resources Department essentially telling academics they've got to get more with the programme on race, while also maybe it will be a bit difficult for you to read these texts. Even like To Kill a Mockingbird, which I read as a school child.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a brilliant book, and it's
book.
worth reading and worth knowing, particularly if you're studying certain subjects at university.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's going on here?
It strikes me as really counterproductive to actually what they're trying to do. If what you want to do is say these topics are really difficult and hard, and we should be reading about them.
Open your eyes.
Absolutely. And some of the most incredible literature that I've read has led me to... I cried myself to sleep reading the ending of His Dark Materials. I have absolutely learned so much about the experiences of other cultures and people who have lived very, very different lives to me by reading about them, being touched by them, being emotionally moved by them. Now, I will say that if anyone tried to force me to read, say, Charlotte Bronte again, it would be bad for their well-being. There are some classics I can live
but
without.
The point is you did read it once.
I did read it once. It's my choice. I will never, ever
Can I just ask,
again.
The media dismiss this as crazy wokery. Is somebody trying to undermine our culture here? Because it's actually getting ridiculous, isn't it?
Well, there's not a concerted effort. These things are coming from all different places all the time. It's not as if someone sits in a room and thinks, how can we undermine the university?
It does seem to be a fashion, though.
It's a huge fashion.
But it's a dangerous...
It's a fashion that will go out of fashion.
These people think they're doing good, of course.
And I think the problem is they do think they're doing good, but it's like all of things, the unintended consequences that we, instead of broadening our understanding of each other's lives, we narrow our horizons.
And
that emotional integrity is important.
Yeah, this was always the point of a university education, is that it opened your eyes to other things and broadened your horizons. And University of Sussex, there was a case there where the lecturer ended up actually losing or stepping away from the job as a result of all this. I mean, that's awful, isn't it?
It is awful, and it's not what we should be asking academics to do, behave and be. Those academics are grown-ups. They should be reading difficult texts. They
push
should
and
be,
challenge your students.
Pushing and challenging. And students should push and challenge them back, and they should be discussing these issues, not leaving them under the carpet.
That's the thing. It's on the exact issues that people who we might call woke say we should be talking about, say we should be discussing, say we should be focusing on. It's on those issues that actually where the debate is narrowest, where you're told maybe you should be careful about reading that book, even if it is, a progressive book.
That Othello, don't touch that.
Yeah, very dangerous.
These are not dangerous far-right pieces of literature that are being, having trigger warnings slapped on.
They're usually
progressive.
There's a reason they're classics. It's because they're darn good, usually, and certainly worth experiencing.
The quality of the writing and of the message is timeless.